Y'all know the drill. You know already up. We're doing a 12-team, half PPR fantasy football draft today. We don't have our draft position yet. We'll jump into that in a second. We're a few weeks out from NFL kickoff. It's kind of wild. I'm particularly excited about today's draft because I've been in the office all morning. All right. Sure, I came tucked. We came tucked today. How you down? I came into the office. I've been in my bag all morning. I've been in my Ziploc. I've been in my brown paper because I've been working on this week's videos all morning. And a little mini series I do towards the middle end parts of August where I go through the worst picks that you can make in every round of your fantasy football draft, and then the best picks that you can make in every round of your fantasy football draft. And I've been dialing in on those today. Been updating the draft guide all morning, messing around with some of the strategy articles in the draft guide right now. So I've been getting after it. So I'm excited to get those videos out to you guys on Tuesday and Wednesday on the Fantasy channel. Those will be the two videos that go out Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Monday is always a recap of all the preseason games. So we got preseason ball going on right now. We got Atlanta. We've got Baltimore playing. We can't get them on the TV here in New York City. I don't know what we're doing. We're not the Big Apple. We're like a small fucking orange. Get me the Atlanta preseason game on TV. Out of broadcast, out of fucking Spectrum, whatever the fuck it is. They can't get on the damn TV. Get me on the TV. I want to watch my third string players be terrible. All right. Let's just jump right in and click draft on a bunch of guys that are going to be scrubs this year, most likely. Let me fix the camera. Let me get in the middle here. We're going to jump in a puppy draft. Little poopy. We're going to go 20 seconds per pick. $5 entry, $1 million. Oh, don't do this again. Dude, I already fucking... Every time I get on here to live stream, it does this. Like, I'm logged in, so how can you not detect my location? I just tried this out 5 minutes ago, and now you're not going to let me in? Oh, we're fucking back. You thought we weren't back? You thought we weren't back? We're back. We're back. All right. This thing fills up in about 5 seconds. We've got 3 more waiting. If you happen to be in the lobby right now and want to get in the puppy 3, you'll get in this draft with me. How you doing? Josh Johnson out here slinging 11 for 1,120 and a touchdown. Yeah, that's like Kenny Pickett last year. Remember when Kenny Pickett played against the Falcons? Yeah, that's what happens. How we down? This is a dynasty video? No, I'm just live on every channel right now. Every channel that we have. The regular fantasy channel, the dynasty channel, the trivia channel, it's all there. Also, we're going to do a little special treat at the end of this video today. Some of you guys may or may not know we have a trivia game that we set live every single day on our website. We're going to play that together, all right? Because I need some help on this one, but it's going to be a fun one. Name every player, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, who rushed for a 50-plus yard touchdown in the regular season during either or both of the last 2 NFL seasons. It's already got my brain cooking right now, but we're going to do that at the end of this draft once this is over. Where can I put you as a chat? Up there. All right, we're picking from the 107. And the starting rosters for this league, if you are new to Underdog, is 3 wide receivers. We've got 2 running backs. We've got a quarterback and a tight end. How's everybody doing out there in the chat? How we down? Only 20 thumbs up, but we got 300 people in here. At some point, we have to grow up. All right. Did I enter a Superflex draft? Or is this fucking asshole just being a dick? It's got to be someone in the audience who comes in here to ruin the live streams. So we got C-Mac. Move camera like last time. I feel like I'm not in the way of anything right now. I feel like camera's in perfect placement. So C-Mac, the first skill player off the board, I don't feel great about it right now. I know the calf strain is not necessarily supposed to be anything serious, and he should be back. If he gets back to practice at 100% before the regular season starts and he's a full participant in practice, I'll be fine with him. But I tend to back away from drafting injured players going into the year. It's like the one piece of advice that I could give to any beginner player: don't draft injured players. All right, so we've got Justin Jefferson sitting here as the top available player. Sam Darnold is going to be his QB. I'm starting to really warm up to Brees and Bijan here. I just think both offenses are going to run through there, and I'll split the difference. I'll take Brees at the 107. If I was in like a home league, a home draft with my friends, family, whatever, and Brees drops the 107, Bijan drops the 107, I'm a happy little girl. I'm a happy big girl. Hey, down. So we had Jefferson at the 8, Bijan at the 9, A.J. Brown at the 10, Garrett Wilson at the 11. Puka's starting to drop a little bit because of the knee injury, which I think is not great. And by that, I mean it's not great to let him drop. All right, the knee injury is, I'm not concerned about that whatsoever. That's like a one week, 7 to 10 day return timetable from the bursa sack that he's dealing with. He will be back by probably this week, if not next week at the very latest. So if he starts to drop into the second, you need to snag him everywhere that you possibly can. Gibbs is now dealing with a hamstring injury as well. So Gibbs is now dropping to like the 2, 3, 4, 5, which I don't blame people. That's a really explosive player. These soft tissue injuries, we want to make sure that we are avoiding them this close to the season. So we've already got our RB1. We're looking for our wide receiver 1. And for me, that's Nico. As it relates to wide receivers, the strategy that you should have this year is draft wide receivers on good teams. That's another beginner tip that I can give to a lot of you guys. Most people overthink when they're going through a tiebreaker and when they're thinking about like, okay, should I take this guy or this guy? Should I take this receiver or this receiver? Go with the guy. If they're equal talent, equal opportunity, go with the guy on the better team. If you've ever played fantasy football, and you've owned dudes on like Washington over the last 5 years or any really shitty team, Sundays are hell. You are in war on Sundays. It is battle time looking at those games and waiting for that team to get the ball. And then hopefully they don't go 3 and out because they're terrible. And hopefully the guy that's on the shitty team gets the ball. It's just, you just don't want to do it. You want teams that have the ball a lot, that drive down the field, that have a lot of scoring opportunities. So with a guy like Nico Collins, yeah, you could look at Nico, you could look at Devontae Adams, you could look at Malik Neighbors and say, hey, these are the 3 guys that are near each other in terms of fantasy ADP or where we're drafting them. I'll take the guy attached to the soon-to-be all-pro quarterback in C.J. Stroud that's a really good route runner at 6'3", 6'4", 215 pounds that just had 1,400 yards in an offense that's going to score 25 to 30 points per game, okay? Don't overthink that. So now we're getting down to the 3-7-ish area. We've still got a lot of wide receivers available. There goes Malik at the 3-5. Still too early for me, man. I get it. They want to pepper the fuck out of him. They want to season him up this year, but that's just too early for me. Ayuk. Okay, so now we're looking. I took Nico, so I could stack with Diggs or Tank Dell, and then try to get C.J. Stroud later. I will say I've been rising really, really quickly on DJ Moore. So I'm going to grab DJ Moore as my wide receiver 2. We saw last preseason game that in 1 wide receiver sets, it was DJ Moore as the 1 wide receiver in Chicago. In 2 wide receiver sets, it was him and Keenan Allen. So he is clearly one of the top wide receiver, but will be on the field for pretty much 95% of the snaps. And then in 3 wide receiver sets, we have Rome as the 3rd wide receiver who plays outside, and Keenan and DJ Moore kind of shift inside. But DJ Moore, you know what? At the start of the offseason, I was a little bit worried about where the target share was going to be, but I think he's clearly the alpha right now there in Chicago, and I loved everything about the way Caleb Williams looked in the first preseason game. So now there's one player that I need to draft that I'm overly excited about, that I hope I don't get sniped on here, because I have quite a monologue for you. Come on. Do it to me. Hey, down. Nick, thoughts on having a... Sorry, let me answer some of these questions after I make this pick. And there we go. Travis Kelce goes off the board, but you know who did not go off the board? His teammate, Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice has become my fourth and or fifth round pick in every single one of these drafts. And let me lay out the reasons why. Rashee Rice last year became the second wide receiver under Patrick Mahomes to have over 935 receiving yards in a season. It is Tyreek Hill and is Rashee Rice. Okay? And Rashee Rice did this while playing 55% of the snaps last year. As a rookie, he did not get on the field for more than 60% of the snaps until week 8 of last year. From week 8 through the remainder of the season, Rashee Rice averaged 16.5 PPR points per game. If you want to dissect that towards the bye, they had their bye in week 10. So you talk about post-week 10 bye, they implemented Rashee Rice as a full-time player. The dude averaged 18.5 full PPR points per game. This is not hyperbole. Rashee Rice became Patrick Mahomes' go-to targets. If you look at the numbers from week 8 to the end of the season, Rashee Rice versus Travis Kelce, Rashee Rice out-targets him, catches more balls, has more yards, has more touchdowns, has more end zone targets, has more red zone targets, scores more fantasy points. He outdoes Travis Kelce in every single aspect of stats, statistics, fantasy points, all of it. It was all Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice was a dude that moved inside the slot, moved outside. His split was actually 50-50. It was 50% inside, 50% outside. He was dominant while he was in the slot, though. He was number one amongst all wide receivers in yards after the catch while in the slot. I'm going to keep going. I don't even think I'm halfway done right now. I need to make my pick in a second, though. Rashee Rice did damage inside, outside. With the additions of Hollywood and Xavier Worthy, fall to me. Give me him. Gimme. Don't time out and take best player available. Don't be a fucking loser. You're not a loser. You're a winner because you let me have Mark Andrews. Let's go. 5'7" Mark Andrews. What are we doing? What do we want to do? Okay, so Rashee Rice. I've mentioned this podcast. It's called the Simple Handicap Podcast many times, where the guy is interviewing a beat reporter from every single team. He brought on a guy from the Chiefs camp last week, and he talked about Worthy and he talked about Hollywood Brown. And he talked about last year, the reason that the Chiefs struggled so much on offense, it was a very down year, obviously, for the Chiefs and Mahomes, was because they didn't have a real field stretcher, and teams could play cover one all day, and they didn't have a guy that can run those downfield routes and cause them to have two safeties over the top. They bring in Brown and they bring in Worthy to do just that, to open up the entire middle of the field. You will not be able to have a safety come up in the box. You will not be able to have a safety come up and play on the line of scrimmage. Come on, one more. That was a good draft pick by Twirt. Kenneth Walker is like the. You want to talk about the? You know what? We're gonna do a little Chicago stack here. Kenneth Walker is like the perfect. Actually, no. Let's go Stroud. Dub me. All right, Nico Stroud. I like that. 6th round. We were thinking about going there, obviously, with Rome and then grabbing Caleb Williams later. I think there's a chance. How high is Rome? Nah, Rome's a top wide receiver. No way he makes it back to me. That's all right. We can still go Caleb later as our QB2. He came on and he was like, he was like, listen, I know that Worthy and Hollywood are definitely going to have their splash plays throughout the year. They're probably going to be relatively inconsistent. They won't be like big time producers like everyone's projecting. He said, without a doubt, the biggest beneficiaries to this offense of those two coming on is Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice is going to move full-time into the slot. When it's 2 wide receiver sets, he'll move outside. But the elephant in the room, of course, is the looming legal stuff. And every day that we move closer to the season, it's less likely that Rashee Rice is getting suspended. There have already been a bunch of tweets and reports basically talking about how they're not expected to have any sort of decision before the NFL season, which means they're not going to do it in season. All right, so Rashee Rice, right now, Sleeper dropped their most updated ADP, And he is going at like the 6'10", 6'11" still. Obviously, an underdog, this is a much sharper draft room where people are like staying on top of news, like myself, where I'm taking him mid, late fourth round. You need to be targeting Rashee Rice at that 4 or 5 turn in all of your drafts. Because here's the deal. If Rashee Rice didn't have the legal stuff hanging over, looming in front of him, he would be going. Let's put the board up for y'all. I just be yapping right now. I apologize. If Rashee Rice did not have the legal stuff going right now, he would be going in this area. He'd be going where DK Metcalf, Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs, and I assure you that he'd probably be going in some drafts around where Mike Evans and Malik Neighbors are going, as early as probably like the 3-3 all the way down to the 3-12. If he doesn't get suspended, which again, it's looking more and more like that's going to be the case, we are getting such a heavy discount attached to the guy who was projected to lead the league in both passing touchdowns and targets, and his favorite target last year, okay? So love that wide receiver start for me. Big fucking me. Let's look for our second running back. See, this is the only problem with drafting a guy like Stroud in the 6th round. Like, I wish I kind of faded him now because I could have got Kyler there. And then if Kenneth Walker fell to me, would have loved to have grabbed him. But this dude went with a complete 0 running back build, which I respect a lot. And he's clearly going for the Seattle stack. He's putting a lot of chips on the Seattle team there. He took DK, JSN, Kenneth Walker, and I'm sure he'll target. You know what? To get him back, I might take Geno Smith later in the draft. Like round 14, 15, fuck him. I'm taking Geno. But Kenneth Walker is like the ideal 0 running back team build target. If you go through like 4 or 5 rounds and you don't have a running back yet and he's sitting there in the 5th or 6th round like he was in this, he is the perfect pick. They love him out there in Seattle, and it sounds like he's going to play a 3-down role. Like, I understand. I think a lot of us are still kind of tapped into Zach Charbonnet because he was a 2nd-round pick, and it was a really shocking pick at the time. But it's a completely new regime there. Those guys were not the ones who took Zach Charbonnet at the 2nd round. Maybe they were guys who would have taken him in like the 4th round or something, but they might get to camp and say like, yeah, he's a 3rd, 4th, 5th round talent, and we're going to play him accordingly. And they might love Kenneth Walker, and everything they're saying out of camp is that they do. So he's dropping because he's dealt with a few injuries, but man, like I'm super duper in on Kenneth Walker where he's going in drafts right now. Damn, now we got some ugliness here. We need to probably go with more receivers. I probably would have taken Addison if he was available. Do we double down on tight ends? Because I do love Jake Ferguson. The wide receiver room's so gross. I guess we'll take Raheem. Let's not overthink it here. 18 rushing touchdowns. How you doing? Welcome to the team. And we'll grab some later round value at wide receiver. There's some guys that I think will produce pretty steadily. Apparently, Khalil Shakir has been a fucking rocket out there in Buffalo, but we could start peppering like the Green Bay room, the Dallas room. I even like Jacoby Myers as a really nice value here. Jalen Polk, y'all know I love his ass. Pause. I probably should have went a little bit more wide receiver heavy here, but what are you? But my team right now, we got Stroud, we got Breece, Najee, Raheem Mostert, Nico Collins, DJ Moore, Rashee Rice, and Mark Andrews. Love that team. Love it. Oopsies. All right, let's hit the chat. What's going on in the chat? If Hall wasn't available and Taylor was on the board, damn it, there's no good place to put this. If Hall wasn't available and Taylor was on the board, would you have taken him as your first pick or draft a wide receiver? I would have pivoted to a wide receiver there because Justin Jefferson was available. I would take Jefferson over Jonathan Taylor. I would even probably take A.J. Brown over Jonathan Taylor. I would take a lot of those guys over JT. If it's a standard scoring league, right, where it's not like PPR, JT is probably the play because his touchdown upside is there. But if it's any sort of PPR, half PPR, which this league is, I'm for sure going with the wide receiver there. And you could probably get Kyron on. You might even be able to get JT on the way around, but you can get Kyron in the next round. You can get Pacheco later in the 2nd round, maybe even 3rd round, and still feel pretty good about your running back one. But that's why I love doing these drafts. You get really prepared for where players are going to fall. So again, if you're new here and you haven't drafted on underdog yet, you could join right now and do drafts that are $3 to join, and you come back at the end of the year, and if you're in the top 3 places, you win money. That's the beauty of best ball. What do we got here? All right, you know what? You know what? Y'all yelled at me for not having any Romeo Dobbs shares in underdog. Here we go. He's on the board. We got some percentage of Dobbs. See, but this is one of the reasons why I don't take Dobbs here. Because look at the running back room available. Like Zach Moss. He could be a 10-touchdown guy this year. Javonte Williams, he's going to be the RB1 in Denver. Tajay Spears has hella breakout upside, all right? This is why I don't go with dudes like Dobbs, who's going to put up 800 yards and like 5 touchdowns. Like, cool, you're a nice piece of the offense, and you might lead the team in targets or receptions or something like that, but like the upside relative to the running backs available is pretty ugly if you ask me. But anyways, yeah, if you're new to Underdog Fantasy, I promise this is like the best way to get prepared for your actual home league, family, friends, coworkers league, because you start to understand which players should not be dropping in your draft. So if you get onto Underdog Fantasy, if you download the app, it'll be one of the first links in the description down below. Use our code BDGE. You will get a deposit bonus for putting money down. You will have enough to do like 5 or 6 of these drafts. You'll get super prepped up. You'll get super double cheeked up, triple cheeked up on a Saturday afternoon, and you will get our draft guide absolutely free sent out to you via email. We have finally got the webhook in place where you get the auto email. It comes on command. And look at Caleb sitting there, the top of the ADP board. We talked about stacking our quarterback with our wide receiver, and we're going to go ahead and do that. So now we have Stroud and Nico. We have Caleb and DJ Moore, and I will be targeting Cole Kmet as my tight end too a little bit later in the draft as well. So yeah, go to underdogfantasy.com or download the app. Use code BDGE if it is your first time depositing. Just $10. $10 will get you a deposit bonus. It will get you a Lamar Jackson free square of 0.5 passing yards for week 1. So free money right there. And it'll get you the draft guide emailed to you absolutely free as soon as you deposit. Okay? It's the best deal in the industry right now. The draft guide is completely updated, rankings, everything throughout the entire summer. How you doing? One thing I do not need right now is more caffeine, if you could tell. Sheesh. All right, let's show the board for y'all. Sound off in the chat. Hang. Thoughts on Sam Howell if he plays on Seattle Seahawks this year? Yeah, I mean, something would have to go disastrously bad for Geno, and I think Geno's probably over the hump of playing bad enough where he's just going to get benched outright, in my opinion. How many cheeks does one have? Really depends. It really, really depends on how much caffeine you've had, how much Adderall you've had. I've been quadruple cheeked up before. Dare I say I've been quintupleted cheeked up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Kmet is yucky sharing with Everett. See, this is like this was one of the biggest overreactions of week 1 preseason, in my opinion. I think Kmet and Caleb Williams are going to have a phenomenal chemistry throughout the year. Come on, Jacoby. Fall to me. One time. One time for the big girls. This guy just times out and just pisses me off every time. Don't. Fuck! Yo, you should be able to ban people. You know what should happen? Here's what should happen. Here's what should happen. This sucks. This sucks. What am I doing now? Oh, fuck. Let's go, Adonai. Oh, no. No, no. Shit. I'm at the top of my queue. Here's what you should be able to do. If someone times out in front of you and takes the guy that you wanted, Underdog should email you with that person's address. That person's address and their mother's address, and you should be able to write them. You should be able to write their mom a really fucking devious note about their fucking son. Just a thought. Just some thought out there, maybe, huh? Rahane, hang. Please, I need help. T or Amari, 1 PPR is my wide receiver 3. I like both of them. I think I have them ranked back-to-back. I have been moving up T. Higgins a little bit just because there was a little bit of concern about Burrow's wrist injury, but he's looked phenomenal so far throughout the preseason. So I'm actually probably going to lean T there. Again, Good offenses, good quarterbacks. Tiebreaker, that's a good way to look at it. Speaking of, we want to talk about tiebreakers, right? We're going to do today's trivia together at the end of this. So make sure you hang around. But in the draft guide, if you want to talk about teams that are, what the hell's going on here? What do I have? I have something. I got something checked off like an idiot. I got something in the filter. Value. Nope. There we go. Like if we're looking at, oh no, I gotta just scroll the fuck up. Okay, Zeke's a good pick. I kind of wanted Zeke, even though I probably needed a wide receiver. That's fine. We'll get back to it. But if we're looking at tiebreakers, right? If we're looking at guys like, who is it, T. Higgins versus Amari Cooper, and we're comparing them, like T. Higgins and the Bengals have a 10.5 team win total, whereas the Browns are at 8.5. Okay, they got a really good fantasy playoff strength of schedule. But like if you're looking to break ties here, I'm usually siding with the team that has a better offensive system in place. When you say they're going to snipe you. Here's the thing, though. When I'm playing in tournament games, these aren't BDGE people, I don't think. Because I don't put the link in the Discord or anything for this. You can't share a link for a tournament. And then I'm also on, there's like latency, so I don't think you actually hear what I say until like 45 seconds later. Whatever. Daniel Jones with the pick 6. I'm missing the goddamn preseason games right now. What's going on? I drafted Richardson, MPJ, and Taylor. Too many Colts. I also have Brees, Drake London, and Waddle's my other skill stars. I mean, overall, it's a good team. Like, Pittman, Drake London, and Waddle as your 3 receivers. And how many fucking first-round picks did you have, bro? How do you get Taylor and Brees, and then Waddle, London, and MPJ? Yeah, your team's okay. I'm fine with that. I like the Colts offense. Browns are winning way more than 8.5 games. I mean, they have a good defense, but listen, here's the thing: like, how many fucking years in a row are we? Watson's a cone. That's just like the end of story, dude. Watson's cooked. He ain't coming back, and I think that's the problem with most of the analysis as it relates to the Browns and having them be a good team. I don't think he has it in him anymore. His pocket presence is terrible. If this guy takes fucking Michael Wilson, thank God. Dub me. All too common Nick Dub drafting Michael Wilson. How you dome? Amon-Ra or JJ. I have Amon-Ra ranked over JJ. I'm stacking the Lions offense. Yeah, here's the thing when it comes to stacking. I have no problem stacking teams that I feel are that I'm really confident in their offense. For instance, I've talked a lot about the Pittsburgh Steelers offense this offseason, right? I really like Najee. I really like George Pickens. I like Pat Freiermuth because it is a very condensed offense. However, there's a very high likelihood that the offense overall is not good. So let's say I took Pickens in the 5th round of my draft or 6th round, whatever. I am not taking Najee later, most likely. I am not taking Pat Freiermuth later, most likely, okay? I just ain't doing it. You have a chubby for Wilson because he's the GOAT. We're going to look back in 3 years, and I'm going to be the Mike Wilson guy. How you down? They went 11-6 with 5 different stars at quarterback. If he's a game manager and can rely on Chubb in the run game, they're completely fine and win. Okay, like this is so out of pot. Like they're not going to be able to rely on Nick Chubb in the run game. Nick Chubb's not going to be playing until like fucking week 8. And everyone says, oh, 5 different starters. Joe Flacco played 5 times better than Deshaun Watson. They got a better quarterback with him on the field. All right, we're in the 14th round right now. We just got to pretty much keep stacking up some wide receiver depth here, and I will do that with Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen's like getting left for dead here, and I get it. Deontay Johnson's coming in, but Adam Thielen's just still going to play the slot there. Adam Thielen is still going to be heavily utilized in the passing game and still run probably 70 to 80% of the routes, and he has a baked-in chemistry with Bryce Young. Like, they played all year last year together. Adam Thielen had 1,000 yards receiving last year. There are a lot of quarterbacks that can't even get a receiver to 1,000 yards. Daniel Jones. Bryce Young did it. How you doing? Can we see the whole roster? I just woke up, gang. Yeah, for sure. My bad. So I got C.J. Stroud and Caleb Williams as my Qs. I got Breece Hall, Najee, Raheem Mostert, and Zeke. I got Nico, DJ Moore, Rashee Rice, Romeo Doubs, Michael Wilson, Adam Thielen. And then my tight ends are Andrews and Cole Kmet. So I stacked Stroud with Nico, and then I stacked Caleb with DJ Moore and Cole Kmet. To be fair, it didn't take much to play better than Watson. That's my point. How many years in a row are we going to give this guy a pass? Like, Deshaun Watson is 5 years removed from his prime. If we're just like, oh, if he's good, he's not good. He's been fucking awful. Like, I'm fully expecting the Browns to have a bad quarterback this year. I don't think I'm not arguing that they can't win more than 8.5 games, but to lock them in for 10 and 11 wins in a division with a much improved Pittsburgh team, Baltimore, and Cincinnati is crazy. Should have had AD instead of Kmet. That's also true. I should have had probably 3 different players, but I timed out because I'll never fucking learn the rules of streaming. I told you I came correct today. I've been in my brown paper. All right, we're getting down to the 15th, 16th round. This is where I'm taking like wide receiver 3s on teams. This is where I'm taking guys that I think could have some heavy upside if they get into the lineup. This is where I'm taking dudes that I also feel like might just have rolls off the Rippensteins. I look at my weaknesses on my team, and that's also where I start to kind of like pound the table a little bit. Like, I took Breece at 7 overall, and then I did not take another running back till around pick 80. So I'm a little bit light at running back. Damn it, this motherfucker took Braylon Allen ahead of me. But I also think Khalil Herbert's going to get some work. At worst, he gets traded and probably gets more work wherever else he goes. Khalil Herbert, here's the thing. Everyone's like, just get his ass out of Chicago. He's not going to play a big role. Chicago knows what they have in Khalil Herbert, and that is a very good early down runner. Khalil has been phenomenal since entering the league. The dude has been one of the most efficient runners of the football since coming into the NFL. Where do you like Dell, and are you picking any Chicago wide receivers? Yeah, bro. I took DJ Moore in this draft. I took him 31st overall. Mid-late third round is, I think, a perfect mid-late third, early fourth. You know, home leagues, wide receivers drop a little more. So if you can get DJ Moore in the 4th round, I love that. I like Rome. Keenan's the guy I'm fading. I don't really love his value. I like Rome a little bit later if you can get him at like a nice little like upside breakout price. But like if he starts going in the 6th, 7th round and you're almost drafting him where you need to put him in your lineup, I think that could be problematic to start. But I like DJ Moore for sure. And then Tank Dell. Yeah, I mean, like 3rd round, I'm probably out on Tank, but if he drops like 4th, 5th, I could see the appeal with the upside and just how much chemistry these two have together, Stroud and Dell. All right, let's grab another receiver. Andre Yoshivas is like, I've drafted him in the 16th, 17th round of every fucking draft I've done. He's going to get the wide receiver 3 role in Cincinnati and be like a nice little complementary piece to that offense. Been drafting any Jennings? Who is Jennings? Sorry, there's so many football players right now that I have to know. Who's Jennings? Jawan Jennings? Or is there someone that I missed? Is someone really obvious that I'm just not thinking of? Who is Jennings? If the question is Jawan Jennings, no, I've taken no Jawan Jennings. If Ayuk ends up leaving, if Ayuk ends up leaving, I think Ricky Pearsall profiles much better as like an outside separator. Jawan Jennings feels like he could be the Deebo Samuel if Deebo left. Like, Jawan Jennings is super versatile. How you down? How do you feel about Bigsby? The same way I feel about Deshaun Watson. The last season that we watched him play, he was god awful at football. I get that they want to force him into being a good player, and they want to take a little bit of the load off of Travis Etienne, which is understandable. But like, it doesn't feel like he's him. Rashad Jennings, I loved Rashad Jennings, bro. I was such a fan of him. Anyone that's built like they're like sculpted in a lab, I just end up getting a hard on for. Boys, how you doing? You guys got to stop. Look, Khalif, you're asking me about Rashad Jennings, Khalif Raymond, and Greg Jennings. I can't even have a goddamn conversation. I can't even sit here on the 18th of August, on the 17th of August in 2024 and have a real conversation with y'all about nothing. What do we need? We really don't need anything. It's a fucking flawless team. I might just forfeit my last two picks. Oh, Jordan Whittington's the other guy that I've been. It's like Andre Yoshivas is the Puka Nakua of Jordan Whittington's, and Jordan Whittington is the Greg Dortch of Andre Yoshivas's. You know what I'm saying? Zendaya, how you doing? Still liking Palmer for the Chargers. Yeah, he's a fine pick. I've laid off of him a lot just because he goes a lot earlier than where he was earlier this offseason. Like, I was grabbing him in the 12th, 11th round of pretty much every draft I had, and now where is he? Now he's going in the 9th round. So that starts to get a little early for me, where you can get these like workhorse running backs, or you can get some of these quarterbacks like Dak, even Jaden Daniels, Chase Brown, Tony Pollards. But, you know, a couple of weeks ago or a month or two ago, Palmer was more so like down in this range, where it was like Palmer or fucking Mike Williams. And give me the guy that actually has two knees. You know? Bang, bang. I've been taking a lot of... Who are your guys' favorite last round picks on Underdog? 18th round is like really just a gross round to start drafting. I've been taking Jamal Williams just because I think he's going to be the RB2 in New Orleans. He's going to get forced into work and probably get more goal line work than we really care for. I like Justice Hill because he's the running back 2 there as well. Javon Baker, I like taking him here. Like, I think his talent is perfect for the 18th round. My only issue is that I kind of feel like he might not really play much this year, unfortunately. I think I need another running back probably. Mitchell's been hurt. Tank's so bad at the game. You know what? I saw someone comment Dylan Loud, 18th round. I'm in on that. I'm fucking in. Bang. Jordan Mason seems like a good I agree. He goes earlier than the last pick now, though. I take him a lot in the 17th round, but he goes, yeah, he went here at the 17-3, so I didn't have the chance, but he's moving up now that the reports are coming out that he's kind of like the 2. Colby Parkinson, I like that shout out too. I feel relatively. I thought about him. I was kind of debating between him, but he got picked, I think, before me. Did he? Or is he still available? Oh, he went one pick after me. But I feel pretty good about Andrews and Kmet. When I end up getting one of the big 5 tight ends, like when I get a Mark Andrews or a Kelsey, Laporta, McBride, Dalton Kincaid, I will only draft 2 tight ends on my roster. It's kind of the same way I feel about quarterback. Like, if I draft a really good quarterback like Stroud and then I like Caleb, I tend to just pepper the skill positions after that. But had I gone like, you know, Pat Freiermuth and Hunter Henry, I probably would have grabbed a guy like Colby Parkinson in the 18th. Theo Johnstein. Yeah, Theo's cool, hypothetically. I just don't really want to invest in that passing game, and I feel like he's just like one of those dudes that everyone's going to talk about how athletic he is for 5 years, but he's never actually going to do anything on the football field. All right, well, that was the draft. It just wrapped up quickly. Where did it go? Is that this team? Okay, bang. All right, so here's the final board. I was the 7th pick here. So I went Breece Hall, Nico, DJ Moore, Rashee Rice, Mark Andrews, CJ Stroud, Najee Harris, Raheem Mostert, Romeo Doubs, Caleb Williams, Cole Kmet, Zeke, Michael Wilson, Adam Thielen, Khalil Herbert, Andre Yoshigoat, Jordan Whittington Goat, Dylan Lobensteins. Oh my God. That was destiny right there. I just accidentally zoomed in and it just happened to hit fucking Mikey Dubs. All right, y'all ready for some fucking trivia or what? Let's do some trivia. If you are new to this, if you've never done the trivia on our website, it's fun as fuck, and we put them out daily, free to use, obviously. You do have to sign up for an account, but that's really it. Today's topic: name every player, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, who has rushed for a 50-plus yard touchdown in the regular season during either or both of the last 2 NFL seasons. Okay, so it's just rushing touchdowns. And anyone with 2 asterisks has done it in both. Interesting. Okay, ETN's got to be on here. We got 5 strikes for this one. The Jet has to be Brees. Let's talk about, the Ravens kind of tough. It could be Lamar, but it could have been a random running back that did it. Chicago, either of the last 2 seasons. Oh, David Montgomery had that really... Wait, how long has he been in Detroit? No, he had a really random long run, I remember, 2 years ago. Or that was last year, and it was in Detroit. Okay, I got lucky there. Let's go McCaffrey. I don't want to look at the comment. I'll move over to the comment section once I run out, or once I maybe hit a couple strikes. How does Miami only have 1? I mean, Achane did it. How did Mostert not do it? Did he just get tackled at the 1? Or is it a reception? All right, let's go with Achane. Fuck yeah. All right. Ooh, the Charge. I sneaky think that the Charger might be Josh Kelly. Last year, week 1. Didn't he have a big breakaway play? Did he get into the end zone? Oh, that would be a fucking pull of pulls if I went Kelly over Eckler. Vegas, that's probably got to be Jacobs. Is there any more double asterisks? No. Pittsburgh's got to be Warren, right? It's fucking never Najee. Minnesota wasn't Madison last year. Was it Cook? Did Cook have one more little hoorah before he left Minnesota? Who else was fucking doing anything in Jacksonville? It's going to be like Dearness Johnson or something. Indy, it's got 2 of them. One of them's got to be JT. The other one's probably Zach Moss. New England, New Orleans. This is kind of tough. I know y'all out there in the comments being like, this is fucking easy. It's not. It's not. Because you got to get it right. You got to hit it on the head. Cleveland. All right, well, we got 2022, so that's got to be Chubb. Even though Jerome Ford had a bunch of breakout plays last year, too. But I think those are in the receiving game. If I had... Oh, no. There's no way there's only 1. Didn't Jerome Ford do it? Wasn't he doing it like that? Dallas has to be Pollard. Detroit. The other Detroit's got to be Gibbs, right? Oh, fuck. I'm an asshole. Probably Swift, right? What the hell? All right, I got to dial the fuck in. Houston. Singletary, Dameon Pierce. Pierce had like no touchdowns last year, though. Indy. The other Indy's got to be Zach Moss, right? Was he breaking away 40-yard tuggers, though? 50-yard tugs? I think the Chargers, Josh Kelly. Fuck! Then it's just got to be Eckler, right? Okay. I just overthought the fuck out of that one. The Saints. I mean, it's got to be Kamara, right? San Fran, 40-yard touchdown. Probably Debo. The problem, the tough part about these is there's always like week 16, 17, 18 when the starters are either rested or hurt, and there's always like a random backup that comes in and goes bonkers. Like, oh, Baltimore. Is that Keaton Mitchell? That might be Keaton Mitchell. See, I remember he had a big breakaway run, but I don't remember if it ended in a touchdown or not. I think that's Keaton. Okay. We're on 4 strikes. I need the audience here. I need help. J-Mo did it rushing. This is Jameson Williams? Really? If this is my last one and I fucking lose on this, I'm gonna. Oh. Do you mean Jamal? All right, that's just fucking miserable by us. Okay, Lamar was a layup. Fields was a layup. I knew it was Ford. What was Nick Chubb doing in 2022? Jamal for Detroit. Damian Pierce for Houston. All right, Hasty is like that tight beat. Cook was easy. Zach Moore. This was actually way easier than I should have. This was not great by me. This makes me sick to my stomach. I rushed through that. Ray McLeod. I kind of feel like you're not wrong with the Jameson Williams. Didn't Jameson Williams have a long rushing touchdown last year? No. He had a rushing touchdown, but it was only 19 yards. Oh, you know what it was? He had a 42-yard rushing touchdown in the playoffs. This is just regular season. You led me astray. Damn. He wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong. Listen, he wasn't wrong, but he was wrong a little bit. It was in the playoffs. Ray McLeod. Yeah, that hurts. That hurts a little bit. All right, well, we put these games up every single day on our website, bdge.co. It's right here, daily trivia game. So you guys can go play these every day. You just got to have an account. It's free to have an account. This is also where you will find our draft guide, which is available for you. It's got all the articles and rankings and all that kind of stuff up right now if you are interested. So it's up on full price, at full price right now on our website. However, the cheapest way to get it is from Underdog Fantasy. If you just go to Underdog Fantasy and you download the app for the first time or you deposit for the first time and use promo code BDGE. So Underdog Fantasy app, code BDGE, deposit $10 or more. You're going to get draft guide access free. You're going to get a deposit bonus so you could do a bunch of the drafts that we just did in this video together forever. And you're going to get a Lamar Jackson 0.5 passing yards, half a yard passing yards for week 1 square. All right. There you have it. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. This was a good one. I felt like I was really in my bag. Would you guys be willing to do an unlimited trivia game for people who sign up? Yeah, we're not like holding it back for monetary purposes. We just haven't set it up on the website of on people being able to play all the historical games. Though we do have them all stored in the database. So eventually we'll get around to having that as a feature where you could play all the old games. I can't create an account because I forgot my email password. Send me your login info. That just like, it was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Needed to be 50 yards anyways. Yes, you're very right. I forgot it wasn't 40 yards. 101, 12 team, full PPR. What draft strategy are you going with? Really heavy on the wide receivers. If you really like C-Mac and you want to go down that road, or you like one of the running backs, I'm not super against it because you can get 2 really good wide receivers in full PPR probably on the 2-3 turn. Like you could probably stack a Nico, DJ Moore, or even someone better than that depending on how your home league plays out, but that's it. What's Pickett, Nick? Pickett is a phenomenal app where you could track all your bets throughout the season. We will be, any bets that I take throughout the preseason, any bets that I take throughout the season will be on my Pickett account. So Pickett is a completely free app, also linked down below, where if you are someone who puts down money on like Underdog and then on, BetMGM and then on FanDuel and DraftKings throughout the season, and you're betting like all over the place, this tracks all of your bets for you. It'll show you like what you've done in the last week, what you've done in the last month, and then on Sundays, like you'll be able to see all your bets in one place. So if you download it, through the link below. It's free to download, but they're going to send you anywhere from $3 to $100. It's like a promo they have for no reason. They just give it to you for free, but it's free to download the app. So use code BDGE when you get on there, and you'll be able to track all of my bets. You'll be able to track all of your bets. All right? I love you. Thank you guys for hanging out. I'll probably be back in the office doing another stream tomorrow, so turn notifications on, and I'll see you then. Smoochies.